Sekho, on the stand today is the operations manager at the Fourways Memorial Park Cemetery. What in essence has been the gist of his testimony?
Well, good morning, Tulasizwe. So what we have realized and what has come out in court today is that there are a few glitches that have been picked up by the defense. So Advocate Lawrence Hodes really just going in onto the statement that was released by the witness today. There are two statements that are currently really being targeted and really being looked into at this particular moment. So we have heard in court that the witness really just saying his name, Dion Klingbeil, saying that he was, of course, as you've mentioned, he was at the Memorial Park, that he worked there actually, and he went on into detail about how many cameras there actually are at various ports, at various places of that particular cemetery, and that's how this particular testimony actually started today. And he really just spoke extensively about who requested footage from him regarding what took place in April of 2018, and he says that there are various people that requested footage, there are various people that he gave this particular footage to. And then when he was cross-examined by the defense, of course, this is Mbuyiseni Ndlozi and Julius Malema's attorney, Advocate Lawrence Hodes, he then found that there are two statements. He was told that we found out in court that the one statement, there are a few things that were left out in that first statement. So he was then questioned whether he was told that he should have mentioned things like he actually kept footage of what happened to himself, and he says that he kept it safe at his house. Was he told that he needs to mention things like that? He says that he did not find that to be important when he actually wrote down his statement. So there are a few loopholes that are now coming out from the statement that was mentioned by Dion Klingbeil, and the advocate really just going in and really holding in on those particular loopholes. I mean, we also heard that various people requested this particular footage of what took place of this alleged assault, and with that, he also did not mention in his first statement that he had given it to a specific Colonel Bronkhorst in his first statement. So those are just some of the details that have come out to Lasizwe from court this morning.
So it appears, does it, that the strategy is two-pronged, at least at this stage, from Advocate Lawrence Hodes, partly to call into question the integrity of the video footage as a piece of evidence, but also at the same time attacking the two statements by the witness.
Absolutely, because there were also issues that the advocate raised, saying that, so did he actually keep this footage for himself at his house? He says yes, but we then find out that he made copies of this particular footage, and he was then asked, Klingbeil was then asked, how did the media and how did AfriForum get hold of that particular footage? And he says he does not know, but it was definitely not from him. But of course, he then admitting that there are those copies that he actually made. So besides the issue of the statements, there's also the issue of the actual footage. Where did it come from? Where were the cameras actually situated within the Fourways Memorial Park Cemetery for this, for him to actually be able to also put this together onto a disc and be able to hand it out to those that requested it at that particular stage? Many of the times he says that it was police officers that had requested to actually receive this footage, mainly just to keep it obviously as evidence. And he says that the Colonel Bronkhorst actually asked him for this particular evidence and then said that it was before internal processes. So there are still those issues that are being dug into Lasizwe, the issue of where exactly the cameras were situated, and then the issue of his statement and how there are contradictions between the two.
All right, Sekhoacho Moagi at the Randburg Magistrates Court. We're going to allow you to go back into court. I see that there's movement inside court, and it looks like they will be resuming again shortly, and we will take you back there as soon as proceedings get underway.